Welcome to Creator's Edge Studio. I'm Tom Arcu, feature film producer, director, screenwriter, and novelist. And with me is
John Colton, and I am the creator of ColtonComics.com and the writer of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula.
excellent and artist. So we are talking about and responding to some video in which Jordan Peterson had some comments about Superman. Let's begin with what's missing, or what would you say is the context of this idea that Superman is, well, not interesting, basically, was his contention. I have a transcript of what he said right in my hand here.
Back to fiction and what it does, it distills truth, and it produces characters that are composites, and the more they become composites, the more they approximate a mythological character, and so they become more and more universally true and more approximating religious deities. But the problem with that is they become more and more distant from individual experience. And so with literature, there's this very tight line where you need to make the character more than merely human, but not so much of a god that, you know, one of the things that happened to Superman in the 1980s, Superman started out, he's got a heavenly set of parents, by the way, and an earthly set of parents, and he's an orphan like Harry Potter. Very common theme is that when Superman first emerged, he could only jump over buildings, you know, and maybe he could stop a locomotive. But by the time the 1980s rolled around, like, he could juggle planets and, you know, swallow hydrogen bombs, and, you know, he could do anything. Well, people stopped buying the Superman comics because how interesting is that?
Do you agree with Jordan Peterson that making him so overpowered makes the character distant from us?
There has to be some kind of limit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, with what was going on in those comics, he had absolutely no limits. You know,
Okay.
he might as well have been Zeus himself. If you're not worried about your character not just dying,
Mm-hmm.
but never getting a scratch,
Right.
you know, it's the it kind of gets rid of any tension that there might be.
Whether it's the next film or whatever is your next project, you got to stay strong. You're a creator, and we here at Creator's Edge Studio want to support you. By the way, I support creators to stay strong and protect themselves with courses. This is one of my courses, Darkest Secrets of Persuasion and Seduction Masters. How to protect yourself and turn the power to good. Now, as creative people, what happens is we interact with other kind of people, some toxic people, and some people who really want to manipulate us. And we need to be sharp. We need to be strong. We need to be effective. And this course will help you. It's based on my experience working in the film business and also in other creative fields. And it's based on what it takes, not theory, but what real experiences show you need to do to protect yourself. Look in the description below for the link and check this out. Just being powered, and everybody talks about a character being overpowered, and people also talk about when Superman is overpowered, then the villain becomes overpowered to give him a challenge, give him, you know, a
Right.
contest, right? But here's my point. There is a potential for a metaphor or a connection. And I see this probably because I'm around very talented people as a film director and in other creative circles, is that many human beings have a power if they pursue it. And the idea of Superman being conscientious about what he does with his powers. Like, for example, I know some people are really articulate and fantastic. They're incredibly persuasive. I know some salespeople who are incredibly persuasive, and that's a power. And they need to, like Superman, be careful with that power. There is still drama when you talk about a powered individual, and that human beings can be powered. There are some people who are fantastic listeners. That's a power. There are some people, like I say about salespeople, they, every day they go to work, have an integrity thing on the line, because since they are so persuasive, they could get people to buy their stuff and it will hurt that person. So there have been times in my life
Yeah.
where I've been in a sales type position where I will actually ask somebody, "Oh, do you actually do this and this?" And then I will say, "Well, then it's not a match for you." my own integrity would take my power of communication and would say that if this thing that I was selling at some time in my life is not good for this person, I will not sell it to him. That's the thing. So I would say that the metaphor that a human being could have a power and they could do something good with it, and that we have a character like Superman who aspires to be a good neighbor, a friend, and to do good things with his powers, that's something that we need. And I'm really full of hope that James Gunn, with his Superman, is going to nail it. What last thing would you like to share with us?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I
Mm.
think the way I look at it, a couple of things occur to me. One is they changed Superman's power level, but not his character.
Boom.
Like
Thank you for that.
he's still, the big blue Boy Scout.
Okay.
And his greatest power is his value system and
Hmm.
his self-control.
That's it. Now, that's what I've seen in real life. Most of the heroic stuff I've seen in real life is restraint. And that's
Right.
what we're talking about, is restraint.
Right.
What
And that's a trick for a writer,
ah,
is how do you show heroic restraint?
okay. Let's close it on that one. Well said. And really our goal here has been to continue the conversation that we saw started by clips when Jordan Peterson was addressing the topic of Superman. By the way, John, congratulations on your new Superman poster. It's available when people use this link. And like and subscribe, that would be great. So remember, here at Creator's Edge Studio, we don't just talk entertainment.
We create it.